Hey, it's Marco here from Fair Realty, Victoria, BC. Big news from the federal government. They've raised the CMHC insurance mortgage cap from $1 million to $1.5 million, and they've also expanded the 30-year amortization for mortgages. For first-time buyers, now they can get a 30-year amortization on all properties, brand new and resale, and all brand new properties. Now, you don't have to be a first-time buyer. You can get a 30-year amortization, which is definitely going to help builders and developers across the country. While the real estate industry is probably going to cheer these changes because it's going to bring more buyers to the marketplace, increase the number of transactions, slightly increase prices of certain types of product, I think overall this is a horrible policy, really only being brought in to buy votes. The Liberal government lost another very important by-election in Montreal as of this morning, so they're doing everything they can to buy votes, even though I think this policy is actually bad, especially for young people in Canada, and let me explain why. So in my marketplace of Victoria, BC, the average detached single-family home is approximately $1.25 million. So as you can imagine, the previous $1 million CMHC insurance cap is actually a fairly large factor in my marketplace, and I'm going to talk about this later in the video. Over the course of my career, I've worked with many such buyers that could not simply put together a down payment to purchase a home over $1 million. So let me give you some numbers. In my marketplace at $999,000, a buyer would have to come up with a down payment of $75,000, and they would secure CMHC insurance. They would also obviously have to qualify for the mortgage to buy such a property. At above $1 million, the down payment would increase from $75,000 to over $200,000, because above $1 million, prior to this change, you would need 20% down. And many of my buyers, they had very good professional incomes, but they did not have $200,000 down. So we were purely looking at properties that were $1 million or below, or properties maybe listed slightly above $1 million, and then we would try to negotiate those properties below $1 million so my clients could obtain CMHC insurance and qualify for a mortgage. Why do I think raising this up to $1.5 million is a horrible idea, in my opinion? Well, at $1.5 million, let me give you just some of my thoughts. The CMHC premium alone would be $55,000. In BC, the property transfer tax would be $28,000. So you would have buyers purchasing $1.5 million properties with approximately, let's say, $150,000 down, and right away over $85,000 would be going towards the CMHC premium, which you cannot recoup, would be going to $28,000 would be going to property transfer tax, which is a tax. People would be going into $1.5 million homes. The minute they complete, they have less than $100,000 of equity in that $1.5 million home. That is extremely, extremely high risk to me, not to mention how much interest are these people going to pay over the course of their lifetime. The Trudeau government is billing this as it's going to help young people. It's just going to put young people into more and more debt, and I find that actually very, very concerning. So for some of those reasons, I think it's actually very bad policy, especially in a dynamic environment right now where interest rates are actually coming down. Why not let the interest rates come down over the course of the next year and see where the dust settles out, instead of introducing this ridiculous policy in the middle of everything else that's going on? It's simply been brought into by more votes. Now, let me explain to you what kind of tangible effect this is going to have in my marketplace of Victoria. In the Victoria market, as a result of the previous CMHC cap being at $1 million, we experienced something called the bunching effect, which was really well explained last night on a website here in Victoria called House Hunt Victoria. I'm going to put the chart up. So basically, there were far more sales between $950,000 and $999,999 than there were between $1 million and $1,050,000. Why? Because there was all these buyers that simply did not have the down payment capabilities to go above $1 million purchase. Now that the cap's been increased as of December 15th from $1 million to $1.5 million, we're going to see this distribution of sales between $950,000 and $1,050,000 even out, because those buyers that were previously capped at $1 million, once these changes kick in December 15th, now they can go $1,010,000, $1,020,000, $1,030,000. I do think this might put slightly upward pressure on prices in addition to evening out the distribution. Also, it might bring a few rare buyers off the sidelines that, let's say, want to buy a single family home with a mortgage helper around 1.2 million, and previously they didn't have that down payment of, let's say, 250,000, but they qualified. So it might pull some buyers off the sidelines, but I think these buyers are going to be in small numbers. Nonetheless, why introduce a policy that's going to increase demand when we're still struggling with the issue of supply? At the end of the day, all levels of government, including the feds, are doing nothing about supply. Making it easier for buyers to buy property and allowing them to take on horrendous amounts of debt, I don't know how that's going to help young people long term. So while most of the industry is going to cheer these changes, I am not a big fan, even though it's probably going to impact my business in a positive manner. That's it for this week. Marco Juras, Fair Realty.